The novel opens with Saleem Sinai, both the narrator and protagonist expressing a compelling need to recount the story of his life. Saleem informs the reader that he came into the world precisely at the stroke of midnight on the 15th August 1947. As he tells the story to his devoted and loving companion Padma, Saleem immerses himself in a narrative that unfolds almost 3 decades before his own birth. Saleem's story dates back to 1915 when his grandfather Adam Aziz, a recently returned expatriate doctor, was struggling to reconnect with his native Kashmir. Adam has one very distinctive feature, a large cucumber-like nose, which eventually becomes Saleem's inheritance. This nose attracts the interest of the local butcher Thai, who remarks that there are dynasties waiting inside it. Adam begins to treat Naseem. She is the daughter of Ghani, a landowner from a conservative Muslim family. Due to cultural and religious restrictions, Naseem remains hidden from Adam while he treats her. Instead, Adam treats her through a perforated sheet, allowing only the affected part of her body to be examined and treated. Over a period of almost 3 years, Naseem experiences a series of unusual illnesses. Each time, a different part of her body is revealed. This fascinating arrangement captivates Adam and draws him deeper into the mystery behind the perforated sheets as he attempts to uncover the secret of Naseem's hidden identity. As World War I ends, Naseem gets the long-awaited headache and Adam Aziz finally gets to see his future wife's face. Adam Aziz and Naseem are married. The couple decide to leave Kashmir behind and move to Agra. It is in Agra that Adam becomes an eyewitness to India's struggle for independence and to the tragic massacre at Jallianwala Bagh. Adam and Naseem have 3 daughters, Alia, Mumtaz and Emerald, and 2 sons, Hanif and Mustafa. During this time, Adam meets Mia Abdullah, an optimistic activist leading an anti-partition movement alongside his followers, including the influential Rani of Kutch and visionary poet Nadir Khan. After Mia Abdullah's assassination, his frightened assistant Nadir Khan takes shelter in Adam's house. Despite Naseem's objections, the assistant Nadir Khan is hidden in an underground chamber under a carpet. During his stay in the underground chamber, Mumtaz takes on the responsibility of caring for Nadir Khan, and a deep bond develops between them, eventually leading to their love for each other. Against the backdrop of the relentless search for Nadir Khan, believed to be Mia Abdullah's assassin, Mumtaz and Nadir bravely continue their secret marriage despite Naseem's oath of silence and the army's relentless pursuit. But when Adam realizes that his daughter is still a virgin after 2 years of marriage, and Mumtaz's sister Emerald tells Major Zulfikar, a Pakistani army officer who will become Emerald's husband, about Nadir Khan's hiding place in the house. Nadir Khan escapes for his life, but leaves a talaq note for Mumtaz. Heartbroken and betrayed, Mumtaz agrees to marry Ahmad Sinai, a young merchant who has been courting Alia for some time. Ahmad changes Mumtaz's name to Amina Sinai. The two move to Delhi to start a new life. Amina Sinai, still tormented by the memories of her previous husband Nadir Khan, and tries to love Ahmad Sinai in fragments and trains herself to love her husband. Soon, Amina Sinai becomes pregnant and visits a fortune teller called Ram Seth to find out their baby's future. Ram Seth makes a fascinating prediction about a baby born with knees and nose and nose and knees. At the same time, Ahmad's factory is burned down by a terrorist group that targets the shops owned by Muslims. Fearful of more attacks, Ahmad Sinai and Amina move to Bombay, where they buy a villa from an Englishman named William Mathold. Mathold has the Indian taste for allegory and decides to sell all his 4 adjoining villas on the hill. But the transfer would not take place until the day the British Raj was to transfer power. During their initial days at Mathold's estate, Amina and Ahmad Sinai meet Wee Willie Winky, a poor man who entertains the families of Mathold's estate, and his wife Vanita, who is also pregnant. However, unbeknown to Wee Willie Winky, Vanita had an affair with William Mathold, and there is a chance that he might be the real father of Vanita's child. As India approaches independence, the government introduces a prize for the children born at the stroke of midnight on the day of independence. Coincidentally, both Amina Sinai and Vanita go into the labor room at the same time at Dr. Narlika's medical facility and both give birth to boys at the stroke of midnight. Tragically, Vanita loses her life in childbirth. Then comes a crucial moment in the story. Mary Pereira, a nurse at Narlika's clinic, is preoccupied with the thoughts of her radical socialist lover, Joseph de Costa. Joseph believes that independence is only for the rich and that the poor will continue to suffer. Mary is overwhelmed by her love for Joseph and her sadness that he has been forced to escape, and yearns for him to return for her love, and decides to perform her own private revolutionary act to please him. Mary switches the name tags of the 2 babies born at midnight, giving the poor boy the life of a rich boy, while the rich boy born to Amina Sinai is given a life of poverty. Later, Mary, consumed by guilt, visits Amina Sinai and dedicates her rest of life as an ayah to Amina's son. And so the baby, with eyes as blue as Mathold's and a nose as dramatic as that of a French grandmother, becomes Saleem Sinai, the chosen child of midnight. Baby Saleem is much loved at Mathold's estate, and his 2 mothers, Amina Sinai and Mary Pereira, have become devoted to each other. Now Amina is fully occupied with looking after the children. Ahmad Sinai is disturbed by the lack of attention and indulges in perverted pleasures with his secretaries, along with his newfound obsession with gin in bottles. Ahmad goes into business with Narlika, but soon the authorities, who find it unacceptable for a Muslim to throw money around in business, freeze Ahmad's accounts. Ahmad Sinai falls into a state of physical and mental numbness and begs Amina to love and care for him. Amina becomes pregnant again, and in order to meet her both domestic and legal requirements, she takes matters into her own hands and starts gambling in secret. Her neighbor and famous lawyer Ismail Ibrahim takes up the case for her. Amina pays him all the money she wins from gambling and they win the case. Saleem's sister, Brass Monkey, is born uneventfully and has to fight for attention in their household. Saleem, being the chosen one on which the family, indeed the nation, has high expectations. However, Saleem's much publicized existence was confusing and he constantly worried about what would make him a genius to meet his family's expectations. Overcome by this pressure and the constant teasing of his friends about his large nose, Saleem used to take refuge in the laundry basket, away from all the excitement of the world around him. During one of these escape sessions, Saleem listened to his mother answering to a usual afternoon call, to which she listens with a bloodshot face. Later, she hangs up saying it's the wrong number. While Amina sits in the room thinking about the phone call, Saleem remains hidden in the laundry basket and listens to his mother chanting the syllables of Nadir. Saleem was sitting among a pile of dirty clothing when he sneezed and Amina found him. Amina punished him by ordering him to remain silent for a long day. However, the sneeze caused a disturbance in Saleem's mind and he was unable to speak. For the first time in his life, Saleem began to hear voices inside his head. An excited Saleem initially interprets this as a revelation, which he compares to Moses and Prophet Muhammad. Filled with joy at finally finding his purpose in life, Saleem reveals it to his family, who scolds him for speaking blasphemy. Saleem writes, "For the first time, I was sure of myself, and suddenly I was in a green, cloudy world. A world where I couldn't tell the people closest to me what was going on inside my head." Saleem soon finds out that the voices are communicating with him telepathically, and he is hearing the voices of other kids who were born on the eve of India's independence just like him. He also understands that he can tune into the minds of anyone in the entire nation. Keeping all these secrets to himself, Saleem continues to spy on other people's minds as he travels across the India. He also understands that of the 1001 children of midnight, only 581 have survived, and each one of them have their own special powers. Saleem communicates with them through their thoughts, making them aware of each other's presence, and also learns that Shiva, a boy born with a pair of huge powerful knees and a gift for fighting, was also born with him at the exact stroke of midnight. Saleem's mother's long shopping trips made him suspicious, so he hid in her car to see where she was going. Saleem learned that his mother had been going to the Pioneer Cave in the old Bombay area to meet Nadir Khan, a leftist leader who had changed his name to Qasim Khan. Although he is very angry about his mother's shameful behavior, Saleem keeps the secret to himself. Saleem then suffers two injuries. One in the class of Mr. Emil Zagilo, an extremely abusive geography teacher, who pulls out a piece of Saleem's hair, and the other when he gets into a fight with two children at school. When he gets into a fight with two children at school, in the second incident, Saleem loses his finger and is taken to hospital, where his parents find out that according to Saleem's blood type, he can't be their biological son. This discovery hurts Ahmad Sinai very much, and Amina decides it's better to send Saleem away for a while, and he is sent to live with his uncle Hanif and aunt Pia, who is a Bollywood actress. While living with his uncle and Mary, Saleem begins to mature sexually and is attracted to his aunt. His uncle Hanif, who is struggling with his film career, is not aware of his wife's affair with Saleem's neighbor, Mr. Homi Cataract. One day, Homi sends a note to Pia through Saleem, telling her that he wants to end their relationship. As he tries to comfort a heartbroken Pia, Saleem grabs her breast and he is sent back to his home. Returning home, Saleem plots his revenge on Homi Cataract. His behavior clearly reflecting his disgust feelings of Amina's secret meetings with Nadir at the end of which Leela Sabarmati kills Homi. Leela Sabarmati, who was having an affair with Homi, kills him. Followed by Homi Catract's murder, Hanif commits suicide. As Homi was his potential producer, and with his murder, Hanif's dreams and career were no longer possible. As the family mourns Hanif's death, Mary confesses to having switched Saleem and Shiva at birth. Ahmad Sinai, who is now an alcoholic, becomes violent with Amina Sinai, prompting her to take Saleem and Brass Monkey to Pakistan, where she lives with Emerald. It becomes the second exile in Saleem's life. In Pakistan, Saleem observes Emerald's husband Major Zulfikar, planning a major coup against the Pakistan's government. In an official and highly confidential dinner meeting with General Ayub, Saleem helps Zulfikar demonstrate the coup, thus becoming part of changing the history of the world once again. 4 years later, after Ahmad has suffered heart failure, Amina Sinai and the children moved back to Bombay. On their return home, it becomes clear that Mary Pereira's disclosure have changed Saleem's position there, with Brass Monkey now preferred as a favorite child. Brass Monkey slowly begins her journey to become Jamila, the singer, her voice charming the audience and even surprises Saleem. In 1962, India is in a dispute with China. Upon his return to India, Saleem attempts to hold a Midnight Children's Union. But the other children have become rather disinterested in the endeavor. Moreover, Saleem fears that Shiva may reveal the secret truth about their birth. So, Saleem's relationship is limited to Parvati, the witch born with the magic powers of the sorcerer. While India is at war with China, Saleem's reformed father decides to embrace his son and finds a solution to his stuffy nose. Ahmad Sinai and Amina trick Saleem and take him to a hospital for surgery to clear his nose. As a result of the operation, he loses his telepathic powers. But in return, he gains an incredible sense of smell, an ability so intense that he begins to sense emotions. Saleem's entire family moved to Pakistan after India's military defeat by China. His younger sister, now called Jamila Singer, became Pakistan's most famous singer. Jamila's songs inspire a new emotion in Saleem, which he identifies as love after he meets Thai Baby, a prostitute who has control over her glands and can change body odors. Saleem expresses his inexpressible love for Jamila, who is unable to accept his loving attentions and later punishes him for his actions. Already almost destroyed, Saleem's entire family, apart from Jamila and himself, dies in a single day during the war between India and Pakistan. During the attacks, Saleem's grandfather's silver spiton hits him on the head, completely erasing his memory. His memory is gone. Saleem is reduced to an animal. His keen sense of smell makes him an excellent tracker and he is recruited for military service. He suspects that Jamila sent him there as punishment for falling in love with her, although he doesn't know exactly how he ended up in the army. During his time in the army, Saleem helped to suppress the independence movement in Bangladesh, serving as the CUTIA unit's sniffer dog, which sniffs out danger and hiding places. However, after witnessing a series of atrocities, he escapes into the jungles of the Sundarbans with 3 of his comrades. 3 soldiers with Saleem, now Buddha, are tormented by the magical jungle with its ever-growing trees, translucent insects, and wailing monkeys. There, in the middle of the agony of a lost life in the forest, Saleem is bitten by a snake, which instead of killing him, restored his memory. He regains all the memories of his past, with the one exception of his name. Saleem is confronted with the brutality of the Pakistani army in Dhaka after a dramatic escape from the jungle. Eventually, Bangladesh was declared an independent nation and the Pakistani army surrendered to the Indian army. In the middle of the celebrations, Saleem finds Parvati the witch, one of the Midnight's children, who has come to Dhaka as part of the magicians' group for the celebrations, and she reminds him of his name. Parvati was born with real magical powers, unlike the other magicians. She helps Saleem to escape to India in an invisible basket. Together with a snake charmer named Picture Singh, he lives with her in the magician's ghetto. It is clear that she loves Saleem, but he is still trapped by his love for Jamila, and whenever he gets close to her, her face is a reminder of Jamila. Disappointed that Saleem doesn't want to marry her, Parvati, the witch, has an affair with Shiva. Shiva is now a famous war hero. Things between Parvati and Shiva go bad very quickly, and she returns to the ghetto of the magicians, pregnant and still unmarried. There, the people of the ghetto shun Parvati until Saleem agrees to marry her. This is how Parvati becomes Laila Sinai. On the 12th of June, Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister, or as Saleem calls her, the widow, is found guilty of electoral malpractice and realizes that she is losing political support. She gives orders to suspend civil rights. In parallel with Indira Gandhi's political strategies, Parvati goes into labor. On the midnight of 25th June 1975, Indira Gandhi declares a state of emergency. Parvati gives birth to a son, another child of the midnight with huge flapping ears, a son who is not Saleem's son, but who is his true heir. Saleem Sinai is his name. The government destroys the magician's ghetto shortly after the birth of Parvati's son. Saleem realizes that Sanjay Gandhi's troops have attacked the ghetto to capture Saleem. Major Shiva has sent information to the government about the children of the midnight and their special powers. Indira Gandhi, who demanded the centrality of this country, wanted this extraordinary cult to be destroyed before it could oppose her, and so on. Her son designed the MCC mission which attacked the ghetto. Parvati dies in this attack. Shiva arrests Saleem and takes him to a forced sterilization camp. Here, Saleem reveals the names of the other Midnight's children. One after another, the Midnight children are rounded up and sterilized. This effectively destroys the forces that so threaten the Prime Minister. Later, Srimati Indira Gandhi loses her first election. The children of Midnight, including Saleem, are all released. Saleem goes looking for Parvati's son Adam, who lives with Picture Singh. The three decides to go to Bombay to challenge a man claiming to be the world's greatest snake charmer. During his stay in Bombay, Saleem eats a chutney that tastes exactly like the one that his ayah Mary used to prepare. He finds the chutney factory that Mary now runs, with Padma guarding the gate. With this encounter, Saleem's story has come full circle. His story complete. Saleem decided to marry Padma, his constant lover and listener. On his 31st birthday, which falls on India's 31st independence anniversary, Saleem professes that he will die on that day, turning into millions of tiny specks of dust. I wish all the very best to you, my friends. Thank you.